Previously, in the sign of affection, Yuki and Itsuomi were getting closer to each other day by day. Yuki was deaf and mute, but Itsuomi was falling for the girl. And Yuki was falling in love herself. A love that she thought was a fairy tale that existed only in fantasy, had become real for her, but she was unsure if Itsuomi feels the same way for her. Then one day after shopping around the mall, Itsuomi invited Yuki to his room for dinner, and there they were conversing through words, and bit by bit they were getting closer to know each other better. But their Emma came in. And Yuki got the idea that Itsuomi is with her. It kept bugging her, and she didn't contact Itsuomi for a while, so Itsuomi pulled some strings to meet Yuki through Rin. And there he cleared out his feelings to Yuki. But that shocked Yuki and her legs gave up, so she found her phone to talk. She was just lightheaded but still couldn't face Itsuomi after that. So she asked if he understands the sign language from before, because that had made her feelings obvious, and Itsuomi knew about it. The things were getting clearer. So Yuki finally confessed she loves him through her sign language, but he got on a call and didn't see her confession. That call was for the work at the bar. And after that he was going overseas on a trip, which means he's booked for a month, but Itsuomi still made Yuki happy as he asked to send her some sign guide video. And promised to make some time for each other. So while he was leaving, Yuki asked why he kissed her hand, so Itsuomi asked her if he could fall in love with her. Sadly, that patting on the head means something in sign language, so Yuki didn't saw him, so she reminds him of the time, and Itsuomi leaves after that. Their Rin comes back and Yuki was so excited to tell her everything that happened, but Oshur was still lost in thought of Yuki. He meets Yuki's mom on his way. He got to know from her mother that Yuki was staying at Rin's house for today, so he took the contact info of Yuki from her mom to talk to her. And as for Itsuomi, Kyuya confronts Itsuomi for Yuki. Itsuomi was famous with girls, so he didn't want Itsuomi to break Yuki's heart the way he does to other girls, so Itsuomi tells him that Yuki is different for him. The way she's crystal clear with her words, and all the little things she does, her eyes, her smile, everything about her makes him feel different. Kyuya realized bro had fallen hard. And there Rin and Yuki come in, so Itsuomi borrowed Yuki for a moment and steps outside to talk. He was a little cold, so Yuki gives him her scarf to keep him warm. So he takes Yuki into his arms instead to get that a warm moment. The way she looked at him, Itsuomi knew he can't hold on any longer, so he used signs to say it. He must have practiced a lot. And proposed Yuki and confessed his feelings for her, but Yuki couldn't believe it and kept asking why. She was filled with joy that her tears came down. So Itsuomi again proposed to her and asked her if she's okay with him, so Yuki also gave a big yes in response, and that's how the cold night becomes the warmest moment for them. So they announced their relationship to shock both Rin and Kyuya, but not them. Even Yuki was surprised with this, but that calls for celebrations. And Yuki was still in shock if it's a real or not, but then Itsuomi asked Rin to stay because he wanted to walk Yuki back home. But there Rin asked Itsuomi about the key Emma was giving him, so Itsuomi promised he'd take care of it. Yuki was worried after seeing that. So Itsuomi tells Yuki that he just landed his room to Emma that day, but it won't happen again, which was reassuring to her, but their Oshur dropped into her chat list. So Yuki ignored his messages and walked along with Itsuomi while holding hands. This time he was gently holding her unlike other times and walked all the way to Rin's house. There he says goodbye to her, and Yuki did the same in her own cute way, but Itsuomi couldn't leave for some reason and goes back to her to stay with her for a bit longer. Holding her out in his embrace to feel her warmth a bit longer, that expression of love was the moment when two persons with worlds apart came together. But then, Itsuomi was on his way to his trip to Cambodia and he was keeping Yuki updated about his every stop, but Yuki on the other hand was trying her hardest to get a part-time job. But her disability was a little problem, but their Rin called out Yuki after her work. She got part-time work at a realtor's office, but the work was killing her with a giant crap of load. But she was still happy as Yuki and Itsuomi has gotten together, but Yuki was still hesitant to call Itsuomi her boyfriend, so Rin encouraged her as they are dating now. And even Rin was enjoying Yuki's cuteness. Then, Yuki decided to work hard to find a job, but all the places didn't accept her for her disability. And meanwhile Oshur called Yuki out to meet as his sister is back. They are all childhood friends, but Mio has forgotten most of the sign language she learned. So she told Oshur to interpret that she's working at a nursing home and there a deaf person rolled in recently, which reminded her of Yuki, so she came to visit. So she took Yuki's contact information to stay in touch, and after that Mio leaves, but Yuki was surprised to see Oshur was still learning sign language. So Oshur told her that he wanted to become a sign interpreter. Then Oshur asked Yuki if she was staying over at Itsumoi's house. It made him anxious the whole time, but Yuki told him she hasn't. Oshur hides his feelings all the time by saying that he's worried that someone might take advantage of Yuki. He was like this from childhood. But sadly bro already lost because as he never made his feelings clear, and on the other hand, Emma had made her feelings clear as crystal, yet Itsuomi had always ignored her. He was still traveling and sends his pic to Yuki, to show her the world, this relationship and their love showed her the broader world she had always dreamed of, the love she had always hoped for. After that, Itsuomi traveled and lands in Thailand at the festival time, then Myanmar, and finally lands in India and saw many vendors and enjoyed the chai while roaming around. But Yuki felt lonely and kept missing him, but there Itsuomi texted her as he got back to Japan. Yuki got really excited to meet him again and finally saw him. She waved in happiness to say, "Welcome back," and there Itsuomi asked if he could hug her. Yuki read his lips and agreed, so she prepared herself, but Itsuomi kisses her instead. That caught her off guard. But Itsuomi didn't take advantage, he simply asked for a kiss, but Yuki misread his lips and thought he was asking for a hug. Bro was innocent. But rather it was Yuki's first kiss that made her shy but happy. Then Itsuomi took her to have some meal at a soba restaurant, but as they were enjoying their time, the world felt like fading away in their moment of love, and after that, they went to park and Itsuomi asked Yuki that he wants to introduce her to his friend Shin. He reminds her that she saw him once in the bar, that drunk waste who came in with Emma. Yuki was still a bit scared but agreed to meet Shin. Yuki was scared because of the pain that might come to Itsuomi for loving a deaf like her, the wall that separates her from him. It's a complex feelings that she can't reveal to Itsuomi, and after that, they get to Shin's flat to meet him. So what will it be to meet Shin because he's a close friend to Emma and Itsuomi? Find out in the next part. Until then, watch the previous episodes on the playlist on my channel, name is A Sign of Affection. Please watch the previous episodes if you haven't seen them. Till then, take care.